People often picture Ant Anstead when they think of successful car restoration, television, and of course his attractiveness. But now Hent is in the center of a legal drama because of a twist of fate. Because of this, his fans are wondering how he managed to go from being the show's main attraction to playing the role of a regular tribunal. Lawsuits involving him included both work and more personal matters depending on the context. If you are interested in the background of these legal disputes and how they involved someone named Khan, you have come to the right place. Accompany us as we uncover the genuine rationale behind the criminal prosecution of Ant Anstead. The skilled TV host and automotive enthusiast Ant Anstead was embroiled in a legal battle a few months ago over his high-end vehicle company, Radford Motors. Hent and Jensen Button, who won the Formula One championship, formed a premium corporation that promised originality, creativity, and excellence. However, serious allegations of fraud and mismanagement of funds pertaining to the company's operations are currently pending. As if things weren't already bad enough, several lawsuits have been launched because of the accusations, which have tarnished the company's image. One of the most notable examples of this type of research is the case of clients who allegedly paid large sums of money for personalized cars that were still not delivered. Some customers said that Radford Motors had received large deposits for their beautiful cars but hadn't delivered, setting in motion the chain reaction that would eventually lead to this story. Timothy Tasker, one of the claimants, sought redress through the legal system. He said he had authorized NTS to buy a limited edition Lotus Radford Type 62A2 by charging the company $11,000 to his account. This took place in May in the year 2022. As far as Timothy is aware, the completed vehicle will be delivered by the year's end 2022. He met with Hent and his business partner Jensen multiple times before making this declaration. Regardless, Timothy asked for a refund in October 2023, as the business hadn't informed him about the car's progress up until then. Despite making multiple requests and receiving multiple follow-up messages, Timothy insisted that he had not received the car or his money. On top of that, in July 2024, a second justice action was filed which included similar charges as the first, still, but at a higher price. In a joint filing, a Florida-based surgeon named Scott Katzman and a luxury car dealer named Lamborghini Palm Beach stated that they had placed an order for the Lotus Radford on Hent's premises. Even though they filed a complaint at the same time, the two people did not place identical orders. The dealer put down reservations for a Lotus Radford model costing around $450,000, while Katzman put down deposits for the Pikes Peak Special Edition, which cost an exorbitant $1 million. Between October 2021 and August 2023, Lamborghini Palm Beach allegedly paid a total of $20,500,000 in multiple installments, according to a reliable source. These payments were spread out across that time frame. After multiple delays and no updates from the company on the product's arrival, the buyer demanded. Nobody ever followed through on the assurances made after Radford proposed a procedure for returning the cars, they said. Paperwork submitted in support of the case suggests that the company would have mismanaged the funds customers put for high-end vehicles. The paperwork shows that other uses for the funds were made known in addition to those for the car building, while the details are still unavailable to the public. Some have voiced concerns about the company's ability to function due to these expenses. In October 2024, Radford Motors added gasoline to the flames by publishing a report that sparked financial problems and judicial battles. Although this may surprise most people, it did little to allay the concerns of its clients, who were worried about getting their money back on the cars they had paid for. Although this is nothing new for Hank Satt and his team, this had happened before. Radford Motor was now appearing in court. Hent found itself in the middle of yet another legal dispute involving its corporation as March 2024 drew near. Instead of the consumers themselves, it was Pastor Pat Velasco, a business associate and an early investor, who intended for the experiment to occur this time. A new controversial problem arose in an already troubled company when Pat allegedly claimed that Radford Motors owed him $2 million. The trial shed more light on Radford's financial management practices, even though it mainly dealt with unpaid bills. This is why Pastor Pat was an early believer in Hent's business. Pastor Pat teamed forces with Hent and co-founder Daniel Bednarski to back his dream of creating vintage cars inspired by mid-century British design. The foundation of the collaboration, like any other kind of partnership, is trust and common interests. Nevertheless, Pat insisted that, despite the company's growing operations and customer base, none of their promises had been fulfilled. Since efforts to settle the friendly dispute have so far failed, Pat claimed millions of dollars in unpaid debts in a lawsuit he filed in Orange County Superior Court. The case was brought before Orange County's highest court. The documents submitted with the court show that Pat invested a substantial sum of money in Radford's company, but he never got the promised return. As the trial progressed, Pat's attorney falsely accused Radford Motors and its owners of breaching their contracts. There was no public disclosure of the details of the unfulfilled commitments, but Pat's complaint nonetheless opened a Pandora's box. Ant Anstead and Daniel Bednarski were named as members of Radford's high management who allegedly stole funds meant for business operations in the complaint. The allegations leveled by Pat are borne out by credible reports that Anstead and his co-founder have really paid back the money. One of the company's co-owners, Roger Inbell Jr., filed a complaint accusing Ann Bednarski of financial mismanagement. This was among the accusations leveled. Roger asserts that a $100,000 new sale has already been granted to Ann and Daniel. They diverted $54,635 from this warehouse to pay a vendor for services unconnected to the new client's vehicle rather than allocating the monies to the right areas. Needless to say, there's more. After a short while, Bednarski had recovered $50,000. He then sent another $20,000, bringing the total to $70,000. After the trial, Radford, who had already petitioned the court for bankruptcy, demonstrated his unwavering commitment to finding a resolution. The company is presently reorganizing to stabilize its finances and regulate its stockholders, according to Daniel Bednarski, who is also the financial director of the corporation. While the bankruptcy litigation and related legal proceedings were underway, Ant remained silent. Tented Seven is well versed in family orchid pursuits outside of his commercial sector employment. In 2022, he and his ex-wife Christina Hall, also known as Christina and La Musa, were engaged in yet another legal battle. With respect to the issue of Hudson's custody, even though it began as a private affair, the lawsuit quickly turned into a public court battle that the media covered because of the couple's celebrity status. Many know that Ant was married to Christina Hall before, but few know that he has dated Renee Zellweger and Oscar Isaac, two actresses. However, after 2 years of marriage, the couple decided to separate in September 2020, claiming inexplicable gaps as the reason. They tried to be amicable co-parents after their divorce was finalized so that they could be there for their kid. This differentiation, however, changed in April of 2022 when Anna requested exclusive custody of their son. He revealed that his son had been exploited for promotional and social media content which, in his view, was detrimental to the child's best interests. When asked why he had sought legal action after he and his ex-wife had already reached an agreement, the aunt accused Christina of putting her career and public image ahead of their child's welfare in the document. It was done in a way that hurt everyone. For example, in 2022, after spending time with Christina, their son badly suffered from a sunstroke and returned home in a lot of pain. Furthermore, when Christina's aunt brought up the subject, according to her, he was not a handsome man. Get him a bottle of Tylenol. I am confident that things will improve tomorrow. Additionally, the aunt went on to say that Christina had at some time in the future given birth to Hudson without telling anyone that the infant had tested positive for the deadly virus of 2019, which would have jeopardized Christina's new relationship. Verse 5. Furthermore, Ente brings up worries about Christina's ability to provide a safe environment for Hudson by mentioning her past of using intoxicating substances. Christina rejected Ente's accusations, calling them baseless and ugly, in response to his accusations. She stated categorically that her children had always been her top priority and that she had done her best to provide them a safe and nurturing home. The boy sought an emergency audience to discuss his concerns about the situation shortly after his aunt asked for full custody from him. His plea, however, was dismissed by the Superior Court of Orange County in California, which ruled that there was insufficient evidence to indict his ex-wife. Once a formal audience could be scheduled, the judge decided that the custody of children already in the court's care would not be changed.